The grid is packed full of established teams that have competed in past series.
And in Seneca's seat, Lara Kozalho gets to grips with her new team and a new type of race.
We thought long and hard about what it means for Seneca to be fronting this year's Grid of Legends tournament.
And it was only right that this legend sitting next to me here should pick the opening race.
For me, there was only ever one choice. A place that means so much to me.
For this tournament, I've handpicked a roster of cars that, if I do say so myself, is very, very nice.
We've invited all of last season's top teams to compete.
And one by one, we're going to eliminate them.
No guts, no glory.
Ever been watching a race and thought, you know what would make this race better? Another race. Well, wonder no more. Drivers will be separated into different vehicle classes, with each group competing for their own victory. Try to keep your eyes peeled, because where there's more races, there's more drama, higher stakes, and bigger battles. Don't even think about blinking, because there'll be a whole lot to keep track of. I'm gonna need a good lie down after this one.
The debut race of this Grid of Legends tournament commences. I hope you're all as excited as I am to see teams from previous series go head-to-head once again. Here at Fuji Speedway, drivers will be competing in an endurance-style race, where each class of vehicle will compete for first in their own groups. A race within a race within a race. Nice.
Let's grab some early overtakes. That'll help clear the track ahead. Okay, they won't be happy about that. Lara, try to push on and see how much ground you can cover. good amount of time left. Keep the pressure on. We're at about the halfway point of the time we have left, okay? Race. I reckon you've done one of these before, eh? Good job, kiddo.
I, for one, can't get enough of the new endurance race. It's like watching multiple races at once. Never a dull moment in any grid tournament.
Old habits die hard.
And Lara feels like she still has scores to settle with Ravenwest.
New drivers, old rivalries, who will come out on top?
Ramps on the track are drivers and trucks. This could only mean one thing. Stadium trucks. In today's tournament race, we'll be seeing our drivers fling their vehicles over ramps, fighting for those positions to make some moves up the tournament board.
Right, Lara. Why don't we give one of the new Raven West drivers a challenge, eh? Focus on staying ahead of them and let them know who's still boss, yeah? Yeah. I know Raven West's got new management and all, but after what happened that season, set the bar high. Teammate had a crash and lost positions.
Nice one. Just saw it up. I missed out the jump this time. And then hit the jump. And they're going around the jump.
Alright, we've got a clean race here.
And look at them go.
Your teammate has crashed. Your time last lap was a 1:29.4.
They run to the final lap. Who's gonna take the win? They missed out the jump this time. Look at that. You can drive a truck under that air. Just a little too keen to find the track limits there. And they're going around the jump. They go for it. Jump. Nice one. Just saw it up. It seems they're skipping out on this one.
Nice one, Lara. Nothing more satisfying than placing before the Raven West drivers, eh?
Maybe the drivers should check their height after those jumps. They might find they're a couple inches shorter. Thanks again to everyone joining us in the stands, and we'll see you again next time.
With Raven West put in their place, Lara can now turn her attention to going as fast as she can, with as many boosts as she can grab.
Roaring engines, distant thunder, and deployed boosts. All sounds this guy loves. Today's tournament event will have our drivers grabbing that boost, utilizing that extra speed, and securing their positions in this E-race.
Alright, E-race. Get zooming past the other drivers with your boost, and we have this one easy peasy. Lara. Get yourself through those gates and let's boost past the competition.
Take me back to the outside.
Good teammate lost place to a crash.
Okay, I'm on the inside tape.
The last lap was a 2:04.7.
Well, I'm seeing some smooth lines and clean racing out there. They push hard with the help of put it out.
Great drive!
Another driver speeding their way into first place and up the tournament standings. Until next time.
When drivers come together on the same team, it's only in their nature to race. Race, race.
Lara and Yume decide to go head to head and break that new team ice.
Can you beat the classic circuit race setup? That's a rhetorical question. Don't answer that. We'll be seeing pure driver skill in today's race with teams battling it out to climb that leaderboard. Who will be clawing their way up and who will be sliding down to the bottom.
Lara, how about a little teammate competition? Let's give Yume a race and see where you both end up under a little friendly pressure. Don't be afraid to battle Yume. Okay, that last lap was a 2:01.5. sorry to Yume, but you outplayed her this race.
And that wraps up another race in this grid tournament. Can you feel that? This tournament is getting tense.
We return to another endurance race. Has Lara mastered the new race type, or does she still have some learning to do?
With the tournament pressing on, it's looking like a few of our teams are putting a heap of pressure on the previous grid champions, Seneca. North Point have impressed with some great performances, pushing ahead of Seneca in the standings. I'd expect to see some form of retaliation from Seneca in the next few races in a bid to steal that top spot.
We are back at Fuji Speedway in beautiful Japan for another endurance race. Now that our drivers are getting used to this race type, I reckon we'll see who has got the hang of it and who clearly has not. Got it.
Go on, grab a few positions while you can. Alright, let's rein it in. You pushed them over the edge there. Block those passes, Lara.
Taking that to the outside.
Okay, we've had about a quarter of the time now. Halfway gone with race time now.
Did they lose control?
Now, we're around 3/4 of the way through the race. well played. If we get our heads down, we've got a proper shot at this tournament.
I'm really starting to enjoy these endurance races. My eyes can barely keep up with each class. I'll see you all at the opticians.
Lara had been having some fun with the early races of this tournament.
But as time ticks on the window for her to secure a victory closes,
I can feel the stakes rising with each race as we thunder through this tournament. And where there's thunder, there's lightning. We have an electric race lined up today with those boosts ready and waiting to propel our drivers towards that finish line.
Right, how about we try and finish this race in a top position? Want to aim for second? I reckon you've got this easy. You've got your boost. Let's give it a proper go. Utilise that boost where you can. Okay, the time last lap was a 1:24.4. Great drive, Lara. We're right on track. Yeah, pun intended.
Well, it seems like we've got a few more drivers really pushing for first place in the standings. Who will end up on top? Until next time.
Lara managed to surpass Raven West.
but Folds have been clambering up the standings and remain strong at the top.
Can Lara keep up the pressure?
Seneca have really pulled it together, pushing in front of Raven West these past few races, which I'm sure they're pleased about. They're really trying to climb those standings, but the way Volts have been performing recently, Seneca are going to have to work a little harder to steal that first place position from them.
What do you get when you cross pro drivers, trucks, and a track scattered with ramps? That's right, it's stadium truck time. That wasn't even a joke, it's just a fact. Who will soar past the competition and up the standings? Let's find out.
Right, looking at these standings, we've got a proper good shot at this tournament if we finish in at least second. Alright? Alright. Use them ramps to your advantage, Lara.
Straight for the jump there. Whoa, unbelievable. Lifted the car off the track surface.
Last lap time was a 1:10.5. You've been making a beeline to that first place spot on the standings.
Incredible performance from our drivers down there. They absolutely smashed it. And I'm not talking about the landings after those ramps.
The tournament reaches boiling point,
and Lara needs to put her all into one last endurance race to call the tournament hers. Can she take first place and secure victory for Seneca?
It's final time, baby! Our drivers have been battling it out on the track, whether it be with boosts, ramps, or in their individual vehicle classes. It's been a real yo-yo style leaderboard, and now it all comes down to this race. Right here, right now, a winner is decided. Let's go!
Last race, maximum effort, let's go! The teammates crashed. They've dropped to 8. We're around 25% of the time done. we're about halfway time-wise. Let's secure a good position. Okay, concentrate now for the last bit of time we have left, yeah? emphasise this enough. Drive!
That, my friends, was a race. And that, my friends, was a final. How long are we going to wait for the next one? Can't it just be like every weekend or... What? It's a great idea.
Well done, champ. Medal looks good on you. There's a t-shirt as well. I got them printed. Nancy, what's your t-shirt size?
I knew this was a good decision. See you back at the garage?
Thanks so much for watching.